If you are new here, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. Hugs, bougie kiss, mwah, bougie kiss, mwah. Hi guys. I know it feels like I have been gone for a month of Sundays. I know, and I know y'all feel that way. I know, but I am here. I am so sorry. I have content pumping out, coming out, so be patient with me, bear with me. How are you guys? Please tell me what's up, tell me what's new, tell me some forward movement, tell me how you're feeling internally. Are you sticking to your story? What's going on? How are we feeling? What's our dominant thoughts? What's our dominant beliefs? All that good stuff. Please, I want to know what's up. I miss you guys, and I literally hate when it feels like I've been gone forever. I feel like this is such a long intro today. Before we go any further, you already know what I am about to say. If you would like to book one-on-one coaching with yours truly or anything else that I may offer, you already know what to do. Click the link in the description down to www.lawofassumptionprincess.com. And always make sure that you read the disclaimer in full because it helps you out. It helps me out and it just makes everything easier for the both of us. Mwah, thank you, love you. Anyway, y'all, I just got home from my photo shoot earlier. This is my first time doing like a birthday photo shoot and I loved it so much. My friend Jasmine did it for me and I had so much fun. I don't know why I decided 27 was the year that I was gonna give myself a photo shoot, but I did. Anyway, happy August, my favorite month of the year. Yay, summer babies, August babies, lock in. Supremes, love everybody else but Supremes, Leos, Supremes. Anyway, y'all, so I was thinking to myself, like, what did I want to come on and film? Like, what did I want to come on here today and talk to y'all about? And a few different video ideas crossed my mind and I thought that they were cool, but I also felt as though it was just necessary for me to have a moment, a genuine, authentic conversation with y'all, which I genuinely always do have. I always come on here and I'm authentic and honest, but I almost felt like I needed to give some big sister advice, and literally nothing preempted this other than me just like sitting down and like really thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And so I was like, I'm gonna lead with this conversation, and I think it's needed. Y'all need to learn how to be your best friend rather than your most judgmental or critical person. Okay, and the reason that I say that is because unintentionally we can get caught up in these moments of, am I doing it right? Is everything really working out? Can I be sure that the law is working in my favor? Can I be sure that everything I want is going to manifest? And even though, like I said, more times than not, it's not intentional, it's not conscious, you are funneling and feeding and harboring essentially this beast that does not have your best interest at hand, versus if you were being your own best friend, which is, might I add, in general, really important, like just in life. I think that is a concept to live by, being your own best friend. I know it sounds cliche. I know it's like, oh, everybody says be your best friend and pour into your own cup and show up for yourself. But like literally exactly that, yes. People say that for a reason. Like it's important regardless, but especially if you are going to live by this law. Okay, I literally just realized that I was talking without my microphone on. But like I was saying, especially if you are living by this law, being your best friend is so important. It is so important, because what you need from you is, you need the parts of you that are the most nurturing, that are the most reassuring, loving, kind aspects of you to show up for you. And usher yourself into a new phase of being and a new phase of life. You need to be putting all of your energy, all the energy that you used to use to question, asking all the wrong questions, psyching yourself out, convincing yourself that there has to just be something that you're missing, when there's not anything that you're missing. There is not anything that you're missing if you are assuming that it is done and you are walking amongst this earth as this person who has this knowing, right? You're doing nothing wrong, but you're so focused on doing versus being. That's another video. Don't get me started on that topic. But at any rate, you need to usher yourself into that new phase of being. And the way that you do that is by reassuring yourself, yes, I'm doing everything the fuck right. I'm doing everything right. How could I be doing anything wrong? I am God. I am literally the God of my very own reality. I create the rules of the world around me as well as the world itself. There is no one else that I need to look for direction but self. That is how you have to step into being your own best friend. You gotta be your own biggest motivation. Like, I'll tell y'all all the time, when I first started this law, my biggest motivation was literally becoming the new version of myself that I actually knew I was all along. That was my fulfillment. And it was like, I got so attached. I got so excited and enthralled and really started heavily identifying with my new concept of self to the point where anything else didn't even feel valid. Anything else didn't even feel like a feasible possibility, because I was so glued to this new concept of self. So anything old that was coming up, of course you perceive it. You're an observer. That's literally going to be the truth for the remainder of your life. You're always going to be observing, which is fine. But because I was being my new version of self and I was being my own best friend, reminding myself that, hey, I'm already capable and I have all the capacity that is necessary for me to be who I want to be because I'm God. That is what was propelling me forward. And a lot of my validation, like my 3D is changing. My 3D was changing and it has continuously been changing for the better ever since I have started this law. And that is something that we also know just comes with it. You don't have to force that. So always have been receiving forward movement and getting results, right? But my validation wasn't even coming from the 3D changing in the way that I wanted. Like, I already knew that was a given. That was a given. That wasn't something that I was going to have to battle with. It was just the acceptance of the fact that it was already done. So my validation really genuinely was coming from being my own biggest cheerleader. Like, literally being my own biggest cheerleader and reminding myself, like, girl, the whole world is in your hands. And that felt like a big comforting hug. Like, I'm not even just saying that. It genuinely felt like a big comforting hug. And it felt like I was finally giving myself the permission to be, like I said, who I always knew that I was. It was like I was stepping into my true identity for real. Like, I was abandoning everything that everyone else just told me to believe, told me to think. That didn't feel like loving myself. Like, that version of living didn't feel like I was being my best friend, didn't feel like I was nurturing and loving myself and providing myself with the understanding that I'm limitless. I never knew that was a possibility. But this version of myself, she talks to me in that way. She fulfills me. She fills my cup. She reassures me. She gives me everything I need. And I just want y'all to be so aware of this, because you deserve to give yourself love. Like, you deserve to fill your own cup and remind yourself, like, everything that I want is literally already done. Like, when you talk to yourself like that, when you talk to yourself with this kind of intention and this kind of care, your relationship with yourself inevitably changes. Your self-concept inevitably changes. Like, it's just because you are now pampering yourself. Like, think about someone in your life, like literally your best friend or your sister, or like, even if you have a pet. Like, I know that when I had pets, I loved my pets. I love my cats. I'm getting a cat for my birthday, y'all. But like, I knew that I was like in love with my cats, and I would pamper the hell out of them. And my best friends too. Like, I would literally, it's my bow hanging on like this. Like, why? Please. But like, my best friends too, like, I would literally pamper and nurture them, and I still do, because they freaking mean everything to me. And you need to mean everything to you. You need to mean everything to you, not just within this law, not just within the context of this law, but period. You need to be showing up for yourself in a way that is rewarding, is nourishing, is replenishing. You do not need to be stuck on any of that old shit that is no longer your business. Like, you're convinced that these old circumstances have so much of a say, and that they're like rooted in your identity, and that they're a part of who you are. All you have to do is divorce them and divorce that negative self-talk, and marry the new version of you and being your best friend. you will thank yourself, because what you'll come to find is that you will quickly realize, I'm gonna say this with my whole chest, you will quickly realize that your happiness does not depend on circumstances. When you start changing the way that you talk to yourself, when you start changing the way that you identify yourself, and you start talking to yourself as if you are someone who is innately worthy, meaning you don't have to do anything, you just always are going to be worthy. When you start talking to yourself that is infinite, like when you start talking to yourself as the version of yourself that is infinitely capable, your relationship with yourself is just gonna shift. You're not gonna have to try to change your self-concept. You're not gonna have to try to change how you perceive yourself being treated by other people or getting the things that you want. That is quite literally all naturally going to occur, because that's what happens when you talk to yourself differently. That is what happens when you see yourself in a different light, and that is what happens when you're being your own best friend. It's kind of giving newscaster tease. Good evening, this is channel 3. But no, like literally, I'm being so serious, y'all. Like, I think that it's just, okay, I feel like what it is we hear all these words like self-concept, perception of self, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on and on. There's so many words. But we overcomplicate it to the point where the concept of it gets lost on us. And that's why I wanted to come on here and say this and kind of simplify it and just put it to y'all in this way, like in layman's terms in a way, because it's really about being your own fucking best friend. Like, it really is about being your own best friend from the rooter to the suitor, through and through. Like, not just on days when you feel good, not just on days when the circumstances seem so perfect. Like, this is a lifelong commitment to choosing a new version of self, and by proxy, everything else is gonna change. I remind y'all of that all the time. Stop thinking that you're trying. Stop thinking that you're in pursuit of something. Everything is quite naturally, literally just gonna change. Voila. Like, it's all handled. It's handled. You get what I'm saying? So stop being so mean. I feel like sometimes y'all are being so mean to yourself, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart so bad, because you don't deserve to like put yourself through that. Like, you're not applying this law to your life and trying to change your life for the better to continue to talk down on yourself or shame yourself or any of those things. You know what I might do? I'll attach this picture. There's like this scale of consciousness, and I love this photo. I can't remember where I found it, but it's like this scale of consciousness, and like on the lowest scale is like shame and guilt and anger and all of these things that we have unintentionally in the past carried with us and identified with and utilized. And you gotta let that go. Like, let that go, because that's not you, Pookie. It's not you, Pookie. It's not you. No, but it's really not. Like, it's really not you. It's not really made up of you and the grains that make you you. So please divorce that and marry you. Marry your real version of self, because I just think you deserve it. You deserve it within the law. You deserve it in general. You deserve it because you're alive. You deserve it because you're here. So you need to start loving yourself. Start loving yourself. Start reaffirming yourself. Stop waiting for something or someone in the 3D to reaffirm you. Reaffirm yourself, because you are literally the controller of this. Gag it. Okay, like, seriously. But anyway, y'all, I don't want to ramble too much, but I feel like I've been so talkative this video. Go ahead and follow all of my social medias, y'all. I'm not really on Twitter as much lately. Like, I have not been on Twitter as a platform because it's just boring me, it's just boring me lately. But I have been very, very active on literally all of my other socials. Follow my TikTok. Follow all 3 of my TikToks, because I made the Law of Assumption Princess TikTok, and I've been like pretty active on there, y'all. Like, I'm loving the content that I'm making on there and everything. So yes, you already know the deal. You know that I love you. 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 I love you.